What was John Hughes like?
John Hughes was great, man. He had a great sense of humor. He was a great guy to work for and work with. Very collaborative, loved to laugh. We loved music. He would take us out to some great blues clubs in Chicago. We'd go to Kingston Mines and classic blues places. He'd pick us up, me and Molly, go to record stores. I mean, he was just a fun guy. He was like a big older brother.
I mean, just record shopping.
Yeah.
You, John Hughes, and
yeah,
Molly
he was
Ringwald.
just really cool. Like, he would make mixtapes. That's why he had such an ear for music, because he wrote all those music cues into his films, you know? So he really kind of created that style for himself.
Did he find Simple Minds? Is that what you're saying? Like
He did, Rich, and he had such a good ear for music. It wound up inspiring Universal to give him a vanity record label deal. So he had Hughes Entertainment. He was doing his films, and he also had Hughes Records. And he would single out a guy like Keith Forsey. He had produced Billy Idol back in the day,
right,
and Simple Minds. And he would hire a guy like Keith Forsey, and Keith Forsey went and got the Stray Cats, and they did another rendition of the old 16 Candles song.
Right.
Or he found Simple Minds. So he was really attuned to music. He had a great ear for music, you know. All those 80s synth bands, too, all the stuff that was in the movie.
Hell yeah.
Comes from him, man. He would be finding all that music. He really
I mean,
did.
the soundtracks of the movies were just as popular as the movies.
Yeah, back in the day, man. Human League and Thompson Twins and all that 80s stuff. Yeah, he had his finger on the pulse. He really did.
I'm going back to my prom days now. I'm going to break out in a cold sweat. Be careful. I mean, yeah, we are pretty much the same age here. And man, I could ask you first questions for days. You were on SNL for a year, correct? That for one season you were?
Yeah, probably.
Robert Downey Jr.,
Downey,
right?
I brought Downey to Lorne Michaels' attention, and I got Iron Man a gig. I'm still waiting for him to return the favor. Iron Man, you bastard. Right. No, he's a great guy. We're good friends. We actually are developing a project through his company with his wife.
That's great.
A TV show we're developing. But to your question, who'd you ask me about?
Robert Downey and Joan Cusack was on that cast too,
yeah,
right?
it was incredible. I mean, SNL is such an incredible show. Like, you come in on a Monday, people don't realize you do a 6-day week. I mean, you come in, you're writing around the clock.
Right.
You pair off with the writers. We do a read-through on Wednesday. Lauren invites the department heads and the cast.
Yeah.
And basically, whatever garners the most laughs, he goes back to his office and starts doing the board. You know, the index cards with the 3 columns.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then you rehearse the show, man, from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, around the clock. People don't realize. You're there 12 hours a day. So it's a pretty intense job, and it's like theater, stand-up, rock and roll, everything.
All rolled into one, and because you got to do it live at the end of the week.
You're not kidding.
Right. And so, and is it true, I guess, last one for you here, you still hold the record for youngest cast member in the history of Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, on the worst season in the history of 50 seasons. But other than that, it was a great experience.
You were 17?
17, man.
Dude, you're 17 on SNL?
It was a great experience, man. I mean, I was at home watching Eddie Murphy 2 years before that.
You were saying, like, you were talking about how you helped put Paul Gleason in, you know, The Breakfast Club because you're watching Eddie Murphy and Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, as a kid, man, even in the 70s, I was a little kid. I loved the show. I've always been fascinated with it. And I loved it, you know. But then I was watching the Eddie Murphy years, and obviously, you know, Billy Crystal, Piscopo, all those guys, man. They were just phenomenal. You know. And the women, too, of SNL. Great.
And then Dark Knight as well, right? You were in Batman Begins. I forget which one.
I was in The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan as well.
Only film I ever made where it made so much money. I got a nice big bump in the mail one day. I got a $50,000 bonus. I'm like, damn, dude, it's good to be in a movie that makes $100 $1 billion rather.
Hey,
is
man,
what I'm trying to say.
I got my latest residual check right here. I don't know if it's going to be.
There's $50K from Roku for you, Rich.
I don't know about that. No, I do open my residual checks on the air sometimes just
to see. Good feeling.
Oh, dude, I'm honestly
we're blessed.
The 18 cents I get from that one time I was on.
Very nice. Very nice.
Seriously.
That can happen,
The
too.
CSI Miami checks, dude. They just keep coming in.
That's right. You've done a bunch of cameos, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
You know, you go ahead and ask a question before we let him go. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually, Susie texted us this. These 80s movies, these classics, like, could they be made now? What would they look like? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Thank you for that question, dear.
That's apparently is Susie chiming in?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my wife.
Oh, hi, Mrs. Eisen. Nice to see you.
It's Susie Schuster.
Susie Schuster.
Yes, I guess.
Okay, got it. Excuse me.
That's okay. It's all good.
No, I think, look, some of the things haven't aged well. Some of that humor, I think, by today's standards, has not aged well. I mean, but the truth is, it was always done in a good spirit. I think there was a paradigm to John's work where all the characters in his film wind off a little better off than they started, which was the kind of model. So, with that said, he used humor to get there. You know, he was great at that. And he was really great, not just as a writer-director, Rich, but just how he let us try stuff. He was really collaborative. He was cool, open to the process. He was great.
Well, Susie was the impetus for this. We've got a 15, 13, and a 10-year-old at home. And she's like, let's show him The Breakfast Club.
Right.
Because my oldest is just going into high school.
Wow.
And my youngest son is just going into 7th grade in new
Great.
school. And we kind of wanted to show him about how, it doesn't matter what year you're in. There's a period of life where you're changing. Your old friendships are changing. Your
Sure.
sense of yourself is changing.
Sure.
And how things can change in in an afternoon sometimes.
It's a great point. Yeah.
And we wanted to show that to them.
Yeah.
And but again, they're 15, 13, and 10 in a world where they're
Right.
they're scrolling. And
Sure.
they couldn't believe that it was a movie that took place only on one day.
Right.
Like
I think there's also a really strong anti-bullying message there, because I think the lesson that I've taken from it all these years later, I've had a
Yes.
lot of experience, hundreds of people coming up to me talking about it. It's like group therapy, that film. But I think it's a great teachable moment that you gave it to your kids. I think it's great. It's an honor.
Your character in it has a very therapeutic moment. I mean, like that is that's like therapy. That scene at the end of
Sure.
Breakfast Club.
Sure.
You're revealing,
Right.
what sort of charade you're putting on for them,
Right.
and
all the
everybody.
kids, right. They all share how they got there that day. Absolutely.
Right.
And I think it's great, because I think the message is, no matter how different we all are, we're all basically cut from the same cloth. We all have the same desires and hopes. And I think it's a great message, in the film.
It does stand the test of time on that front, for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.